Welcome. Get set up here. Welcome back. My name is Julianne Duffy. You might see that. Okay, wait. Here we go. My high tech Julianne Duffy on my full screen landscape. Wake and Light base.44.app is what I've been developing. If you're on the vertical, that's the word I was looking for. There's my name, Julianne Duffy. And thank you again for joining me. Every week I come live and we go over what the weekly energies have in store for us. So we're going to look at this coming week, March 22nd to 29th, 2026, and look at some very interesting things that are energetically going to happen. But before we get started, I did want to do a little bit of house cleaning. So if you are watching, whatever platform you're watching on, please do like, share, subscribe, follow me so you know when I'm live. And also, I have been working on this app, so I know I talk about this app a lot. I've been doing a lot of cleanup recently, so we're fixing a lot of stuff, just making it function. So not a lot to talk about, except for that we're fixing a lot of back-end stuff, and it's coming along really well. I'm super excited with all these features that I'm fixing and getting into alignment. Okay, well, let's get started. And we're going to look at the weekly overview. So this week we have what's an interesting thing. I want to point this out first because I find this very, very interesting. This week we literally have what I would describe as a full manifestation cycle. Okay, with the elements, we start with earth. We go through air to water to fire to earth again. So this is legitimately a complete cycle of manifestation, which is very rare when we have with the signs and to go through all of the elements in that order: earth, air, water, fire, earth. Just an interesting side note. So with the air, it actually focuses on stability and practical awareness, with the earth. Then we go into air, which is communication, ideas becoming more active. By the midweek, we've got water encouraging emotional awareness and deeper reflection. And then towards the end of the week, we've got fire, which the fire energy rises, bringing creativity, confidence, and expression. And then by the end of the week, we go back into earth again, which is helping us ground what we did this week. So it's very interesting on how we go through that entire cycle from May 22nd to next Sunday, the 29th. Very interesting. So as we go through, early in the week, we're going to start to notice some patterns. So communications, relationships, priorities, awareness has been building underneath the surface. And I feel like that is very appropriate. We have a lot of awareness that is coming to light. One thing I became aware of today was the Afroman trial. I'm going to say this was hilarious. I'm hilarious in a very good way. So if you followed it, it is very much about having freedom of speech and being able to really laugh at what's happening. So if you have not been following the Afroman trial, which I didn't even know it was going on, Afroman, back in my day, very popular from the And Then I Got High song, and so he's moved on. I guess he lives in Idaho, has this farm and this little property. And there was a couple years ago a raid on his property, some anonymous tip, and they raided his property, destroyed his fence and his door, and intimidated his family. He wasn't there, but he saw the whole thing on camera. Okay. Didn't find anything. And then he asked, okay, when he goes back, he's like, there's $20,000 of damage. Are you guys going to cover this? Right? Because you guys pretty much admitted, yeah, we went there. We didn't find anything. Obviously, the anonymous tip wasn't right. And no, you're left with all these damages. Good luck. So being Afroman, which I think gives him so much more legitimacy now, he decides to make some songs. I'm going through the list of songs. One of the first ones is, "Can you help me pay for my gate and my knockdown door?" And he's got songs about that and just mocking. So showing security camera footage of what happened, and literally starts to get a little bit of traction. Well, this starts to make the police mad because he starts to show clips of them, makes up songs about these police. It is so hilarious. I can't even do it justice. Nonetheless, he goes to court this week and pretty much pulls out his constitutional rights here in the U.S. and that he has the right to the freedom of speech, right? And it was what a trial, hilarious. But that gives you a lot of hope, like that you have the freedom to talk about things and make fun of them, right? Like he's making fun of them of what they did to him, and and he wins the court case. Like they I guess the cops tried to sue him for almost $4 million, but he won the case. And I have to give it to Afroman. I now have to go and listen to his new CD or his new album, whatever you want to call it, digital downloads, and watch him because I didn't even know all of this was happening. So as we go through the week, that's very much we're noticing patterns, communications, relationships, priorities before building beneath the surface, right? So I thought that was just funny. Is just something that I came to an epiphany of and didn't even know was happening, right? Okay, so midweek is a turning point. That's where we start to realize what starts to crystallize. So conversations or events are starting to reveal important truths. I think this is important truth. Like, do you have the right to mock people when they're found that they should not have done something, right? And then later in the week, we've got insights turning into decisions and clarity about the next steps forming. So getting more clear and where we want to go and how to go forward. So overall, the theme for this week, the 22nd to the 29th, we've got awareness to realization to expression and going into building structure. So let's jump in. Oh, one thing that is note, what we might feel on the collective this week is a growing desire for clarity. Okay, clarity seems appropriate. We want to understand what's going on. So early in the week, we're going to have more reflection into internal processing, or later in the week, it's encouraging stronger boundaries and more confident decision making. So that's how we're going to see it on the collective. And midweek, there is a note that conversations, realizations, and emotional shifts might reframe how you see a current situation. Okay, so that could be like anything, it could be personal, but I'm going to say it's probably more on the collective, that there's going to be conversations, realizations. I brought this up. How do you accept new information when it's presented to you? Do you literally first go, no, don't tell me, it doesn't fit in my little tiny reality? Or based on what this is what's happening midweek, you're going to start to realize that maybe I'm going to listen and hear it out and see this new information that has been presented, because it's going to reframe or make you see a certain situation differently. And so that's really a good time to pay attention, where clarity arrives quickly, where you start to go, oh, bing, 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 right? So that is kind of the overall for the week, March 22nd to 29th. But let's jump into the first couple days. So today, Sunday and Monday, so the 22nd and 23rd. When we're looking at these energies, as a reminder, if you're new to watching, we're looking at themes that overlap between numerology through the elements, as well as in the Vedic and Western astrology, which is also a lot of what is covered in the app. So it's not just astrology. We're not just looking at numerology. We're not looking at just Vedic or Western or just elements. I'm combining them, looking for strongest overlapping energy, right? Because often what is said or what is in one area, there's something in another area that's also very strong. So maybe in the numerology it says something, but also in the astrology is covering the same thing during the period. So those are going to be, I feel like, a lot more energy towards it, a lot more support for those type of things to happen. So that's the idea of the combined charts and what we're looking at. So as we go through today and tomorrow, Sunday and Monday, we are in the universal numerology days 8 and 9. So the numerology 8 is about power, responsibility, real world decisions. The number 9 shifts us into reflection, completion, understanding what needs to be released so we can start going forward. And then when we get to the elements, in the Western astrology, we've got Taurus to Gemini, which goes into the morning tomorrow, and Aries to Taurus. So we've got the fire, earth, air combination. So that energetic pattern, both in both the Vedic and the Western, moves us to begin initiation or initiatives and forward movement. So the Western Taurus energy is grounding, impulses into stability and practical awareness. And then the moon in Gemini is energy, lightens, curiosity, conversation, and exchange of ideas, where the Vedic is the initiative and the forward movement. So really the both of them are talking about reflecting a natural progression. So the idea starts to form and then we start to express it. Now, when we go specifically looking at the Vedic, the moon in Vedic is under Aries and then heads towards Taurus. So what that really means is it's influencing our collective energy, spark of initiative, personal will. Aries brings a desire to move forward, make decisions, assert individually, right? We just want to start to go forward. We're tired. We're tired of being stuck here, stuck in a lot of fear, right? And a lot of the things we don't like, right? So Aries under the Vedic is going to start bringing this desire. We want to go forward. We're just done. We want to start making the steps forward. And many people may feel the internal push to start something new, stand up for themselves, take action, the things that have been building underneath. So maybe you're just ready to go, I'm taking these steps. I need to go forward. Now, on that, one of the things we are developing, if you are feeling like it's time to go forward, talking about my truth or spreading my information, my ideas, what I'm building, my business. We are currently building a webinar, a visibility engine webinar, which will be on the 1st and the 2nd of April. And if I can get the link in the description, I can send that out so you can follow that. I will put in the description. I don't have it yet, but if I can get the link in the comments by my manager there, then I can share it. But that is a great way to go, right? Is start to plan and decide where you want to put your energy and start to move forward with the momentum, especially today and tomorrow. That is highly aligned. Now, when we get into the Western, we've got the collective atmosphere supports initiative and dialogue. So it's really to act or assert something meaningful, begin to evolve conversations, collaborations, new perspectives. And many people might find that they're speaking openly, sharing their ideas, asking questions, bridging between personal intention and meaningful connection. So very similar in the overall ideas between the Vedic and the Western on what we're looking at. I actually jumped to the combined view, which talked about all of that because I'm distracted that my editor is not giving me my link. Editor. So, anyways, the Western, we've got moons are going towards Taurus and Gemini. It shifts from stability to curiosity, and Taurus energy encourages people to slow down, ground themselves, focus on what feels secure or valuable. And the influence of Gemini begins to emerge, attention towards what naturally is about communication, learning, exchanging ideas. The strongest energy as we look at today and tomorrow is grounded focus into mental movement, beginning as practical awareness, responsibility, which moves quickly into evolving curiosity, conversation, and new perspective. So that is what we've got going forward. Now we're going to go into, when we go through each of them, what I like to do is discuss how this is going to look on the collective, and then also how it's going to look in your personal life, and then how to kind of make it through today and tomorrow. So the 2 days with that. Okay. So what we might see today and tomorrow on the collective, conversations are shifting towards new ideas. We've got increased curiosity and info sharing, people questioning routines or norms, right? Is this normal? Why have we believed this normal? Is this routine going to benefit me? And social atmosphere, more mentally active. So we might see a lot more on social media. Maybe there's a lot more reach out, etc., etc. That's what we'll start to feel on the collective. Now, some personal examples how you might feel is you're deciding to reach out to somebody you've lost touch with. Maybe you reach out and touch somebody. If you're old, you'll remember that. So reaching out to somebody you haven't maybe talked to in a while, that's highly aligned. Maybe feeling intuitive nudges to change your daily routines, improve them, hopefully, through the changing. Find some newfound passion in writing or speaking about your ideas. And maybe some people will feel restless on current projects, which is now a search for new engagement, which is perfect to what I want to share here, which is the I am YouTube famous. So this is something where I feel like most people might like, especially if you have something to say, this is going to assist you, right? We want people to, oh my goodness, why did it do that? Technology works well.
I don't know if you see the comment because they disappear as soon as I type them in.
No, I accidentally hit it and then I put it back.
So I am YouTubeFamous.com. They go there.
I know, but I'm having technical difficulties because the merged screens together. I know how to use technology. I have to reopen the screen. Okay, there we go. I'm going to highlight this. I want to remove this screen. I don't even know how I got double screens on here. I need to remove this. Close that view. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to share this because this is we're talking about. So you may feel restless on current projects, prompting you to search for new engagement, new ways to talk, new ways to sell yourself, making video content, getting out there. Have you been doing it right? Right? Are you just throwing different random things out and then are you like frustrated? Do you need some guidance? Like that is actually what we're creating. We've got a webinar that we are starting. It's going to be on April 1st and 2nd, so you can register for that. But I'm going to share, where is this? I'm going to share what this looks like. So if you go to IamYouTubeFamous.com, that is the website. Go. So here you can join our webinar that we're going to have on the 1st and the 2nd. So you can join right off the bat. That's what we're going to be talking about. I don't know where is the webinar sign up link? No, it did not pop up any sign up link. So you can get started for free. That will bring you to being welcome to I'm YouTube Famous Coach. That's the only thing once I go to sign up for free. So we're going to have to work on that. Today is the official day of us first promoting it. So there's supposed to be a webinar link here. So just pretend there is because it clearly is not working properly. This is why we're testing it. And it's nothing like testing it live to find out. But if you do want to join it, we're going to be doing an 8-week course, which we're going to teach you all about on the 1st and the 2nd. And you can sign up here and get registered right off the bat. We also do free training every Saturday. If you have been following us, we do that live and it's for everybody. So everyone can watch it anytime. Now I got to get out of here. How come I cannot remove myself from this? I feel stuck and I don't know if they can even see me and I can't get unclicked. Why is that not working? This worked yesterday. I can't get out of share screen.
It's because you're probably logged into the website builder, so you're seeing it in that back end and not the actual pop-up of anybody else.
Well, then it did that automatically when I clicked on the link.
Because you're on my laptop.
Okay, well, I don't even know if they can see me. I gotta get out of here.
How do I? See your website.
Okay, how do I get out of there?
Let's see that. click on stop screen sharing.
I did. It didn't
Oh,
work.
you have to do that again.
I have to do it 5 times. There you go. Technology works great. Awesome. Anyways, the website should have a pop-up, I'm being told, because I have my team here logged me automatically, doesn't show me the pop-up, but you can register for the webinar, which will be, there's 2 times we're going to go live on the 1st and 2nd of April. So we're going to talk all about it and what's included and how we're going to help you get more visible. So you can check that out. And, we'll get that working. Anyways, so as we go through how to make it through today and tomorrow is imagining how to make it through. Make space for honest conversations, provoking thought. It's a moment to think before reacting, and new information or conversation. So it's like, take what you're learning, contemplate it before you react, right? And be okay with taking new information, even if you don't necessarily agree with it. Be able to allow yourself the opportunity to learn something or see it in a different perspective. And if it's true, if it fits your existing perspective, it'll not validate, it'll validate your personal perspective. If it's not true, it won't, right? See, when we get flexible with new information, it can actually build our perception or where we stand on something much more. If we're not willing to take in new information, then literally we have holes in our own points of view. And I'll see that often. Like, there's a lot of controversy right now in Canada with the province of Alberta wanting to separate. And I've kind of mentioned this before. Now you've got somebody who's like, I don't want to cause division, but straight up has said they won't listen to one side. So if you're not willing to listen to the side, how can you say your side is correct? This is part of our evolution that we need to go through, is being able to take new information and decide, does this information validate my point? And if it doesn't, and if you're terrified of losing whatever you identify with that point of view, there's something wrong, because the reality is we may see things wrong, and it's okay to admit you were wrong about things. Like, there's many times where I'm like, okay, maybe I believe this, but the new information came in. I'm like, oh, okay, I was kind of right here, but this clarifies it, and now I've got a stronger view of how this works, right? Or vice versa. Oh, well, that was totally not right. Now I'm looking at it completely different. So this is part of it. So being able to listen to both points of views is so important. And that is part of what is really coming up today and tomorrow. Take a moment to think before reacting to new information or conversation. So instead of getting immediately mad because they're not saying the same thing that makes you feel comfortable, maybe you have to step back and go, well, why would this person say it? Are they benefiting? How are they benefiting? Is there other people saying this? Why would they say it? Start to actually become critically thinking. I get we're not taught to critically think. That is something that does not actually exist in our system. They don't promote us to critically think. It is up to us to establish this ability that we can take new information without getting butthurt. I'm going to say it. Can you take new information in without getting butthurt? And then decide from there. And that is how you're going to make it through today and tomorrow. Embrace discomfort of change as a path to grow. That is part. Change is the only thing that actually exists. Things staying the same are never going to stay the same. That is, we get comfortable in our normal routines. We get comfortable in that. I get it. However, those things will at some point always change. So part of making it through today and tomorrow is being able to embrace the discomfort, embrace change, and be okay with being flexible with how you see things. Especially this week, as we go on, you're going to figure out even more why it's going to be important that we're flexible on what we believe. And, I might have a personal opinion about something. When new information comes out, it's going to maybe change my opinion. That's okay. We have to take away this weird identifying ourselves to beliefs we have so deeply that we get hurt. We get butt hurt because this is not in our belief system. That is going to be a problem, especially with where we are as a society. It is. So embrace discomfort of change as a path to growth is highly, highly supported and recommended to make it through today and tomorrow. So I'll pick one card here just to give us some, what do the guides have for us? And then I guess we've learned as well, since I showed you that I am YouTube famous, so you can sign up for our visibility webinar. We're going to make sure there's many links to that webinar so you can easily find it. So it's good that I came on and show the glitch of my system. Okay, but how to make it through? What is the recommendation from the guides? And I'm going to use my fairies again. Temptation. Interesting. Make sure I can get that in both my vertical and my horizontal screen here. So you are in denial about an unhealthy habit, perhaps one that makes you feel guilty. The fairy says you have the power to overcome temptation, whatever the guise. That's so appropriate. What did we talk about? We talked about take a moment to think before reacting to new information and conversations. Embrace discomfort of change as a path to grow. So there's something unhealthy, there's something that's not in alignment that is part of that embracing to change. It's time to change, and it may not be easy. It may not, most things in life are not really comfortable. They're not. Like putting yourself out there, like coming and going live every week here at the same time and getting not a lot of views is not comfortable. I'm going to tell you that. I completely put myself out here every week. It's not comfortable. There's nothing comfortable about it. Literally, I try to show you a website and it didn't work. And I've gotten to the point that it's okay to be in this discomfort. So now I only know discomfort. So it's just, that's the way it is, right? So whatever you're being called through that temptation, through whatever habit or issue or things that make you feel guilty, it's really that power to see the bigger picture, to take those uncomfortable movements, those uncomfortable steps to move past it, right? So maybe we've been blocking things. Maybe people have been talking to us about one thing, and no matter how many people have told us this, we don't want to believe it. We're like, no, they're all lunatics. You're all crazy. Maybe there's something to it, even if you don't want to believe it on your own life or whatever, right? Very much like, I'm going to say this straight up. In the area I'm in Texas, there was a posting, because when you're traveling around, you'll get, it's interesting because every time I log in to Facebook, it's like, oh, you're over here, right? So I got a local posting that a pharmaceutical company fired a whole bunch of people. I'm not really empathetic. I'm not empathetic that you lost your job working for Big Pharma. I'm not. And it might be uncomfortable. People are like, oh, that's so mean. Oh, these people lose their jobs. Like, play the little violin. You've been working for the devil. I'm sorry. Very few things come out of those companies that actually help people. It's like watching American TV and all the side effects to the drugs. And, I'm surprised when death isn't a side effect. I'm just saying, right? Uncomfortable, yes. I don't want people that not have jobs, but you chose to work there. The money motivated you to make that choice. Now the discomforting truth is now you don't have a job. What are you going to do? Maybe you have to make some content. So go to IamYouTubeFamous.com and make sure you sign up for our webinar. Just says, there's my gopher. My dog's getting all distracted, but it does all relate. So that is the guidance for today and tomorrow. Now, as we continue, we're going into Tuesday and Wednesday, the 24th and 25th. So we actually have Universal Day 1 and 11/2. So it comes up as 1/1, which is actually very auspicious versus 11 versus 2. But anyways, 1 brings initiative, independence, motivation, and beginning something new. It's encouraging people to take a step towards an idea, direction that is forming. That's what we're doing, right? Like if you got an idea, a direction, something that is forming, that's why we're promoting the visibility engine, right? Get on the webinar so you can and learn how to do that. That is highly aligned for this week. Now, when we get into 11, which is actually Universal Day 2, the Master Day, the tone becomes more intuitive, reflective, highlights heightened awareness, insight, and emotional sensitivity. It's also helping people recognize deeper meaning or purpose behind actions, right? What is the deeper meaning? And we can even ask that on a lot of things we're seeing in the reality around us. What is the deeper purpose of what we're seeing? Questioning that. Now, when we get into the elements, we've got on the Western, we're going from Gemini to Cancer, and in Vedic, we're going Taurus to Gemini. So that's bringing the combination of air, earth, air, water. So across both systems, the pattern is mental activity and emotional awareness. So Gemini influences curiosity, conversation, and exploration of ideas. Again, being able to look at other ideas, even if they're uncomfortable, even if we don't want to believe them or don't necessarily ever think that we should really do it, right? Like, but being okay with exploring those ideas. In the Vedic Taurus, it adds a stabilizing influencing. So we're really grounding our thoughts more into the practical considerations. And then that in the Vedic astrology, it moves to Cancer, which brings attention inwards, emotional understanding, personal security, and meaningful connection. So when we look just at the Vedic, outside of the elements, we've got the Taurus moving towards Gemini, which is balance, stability, and learning. Taurus is encouraging us for patience, consistency, appreciation of what brings comfort and value, because there is a lot of things that when we have that comfort or bringing in the value of having that consistency, right? Because change is the one thing that we will always have, but of course we want that comfort. There is appreciation to it. And that's what we're going to bring through the Vedic is like kind of appreciating that it's been comfortable. But Gemini is going to begin to emerge curiosity, which grows in many people when they're drawn to ask the questions and explore a new perspective. So even though we do appreciate the comfort zone for sure, I definitely am Cancer. I like my home. That's why we travel with our home. We literally travel with our home. So I can just, when I feel too peoply, I can just hide in my little trailer, right? So we appreciate that, but we are being pushed to look at the curiosity, to gather information, ask questions, and start to look at a bigger perspective. Not be in that closed little niche that, no, I will not take more information in. I say no. I don't want to be divisive, but I'm not willing to hear you. That doesn't even make sense. That's not you. You literally, I don't want to be divisive, but I'm not willing to hear you. We're not going to get anywhere. We're really not. We're spinning our wheels and you're just digging a hole like we were stuck in Joshua Tree. That was terrifying. Literally, our truck at one point, the back tires are going deeper in the sand. Top of the truck is going out. And you're like, we're just digging ourselves a deeper hole. We did get ourselves out of it without having to call for help. Still proud of myself, pat on my back. Okay, anyway, side note. Western collective, what we see is the Gemini, and as I explained, that energy dominates much of this period of Tuesday and Wednesday. So it's encouraging social interaction, learning, exchanging ideas. Then when we move into the Cancer under the Western astrology on the 25th, it's more emotional awareness. Conversations are carrying deeper meanings, more attuned to their feelings and their personal connections. So what we will actually see combined, so the influences considered together, the collective atmosphere supports thoughtful communication, followed by emotional reflection, right? So we're being thoughtful, we're hearing it, and then we're really reflecting and thinking about the information we're getting. That's what we need to do. I really want to see everybody do that. Like, we need to all have a little bit more of that. Even if you're right, just maybe a little bit more empathy for somebody else's perspective, right? Ideas or conversations begin in a light and curious way, but they start to gradually deepen into more meaningful discussions, security, belonging, and personal priorities. All of those you can definitely see are coming up in the collective. Are we secure? How do we belong in this reality? And if you are somebody who's getting laid off and being replaced because industries are outsourcing or losing business or changing to AI or whatever, how do we belong? What are our priorities? That is the question that comes in Tuesday and Wednesday. The strongest energy as we go through those days is mental clarity, evolving, emotional awareness, conversations and ideas And information gathered during this period will lead to deeper insights later in the week, okay? So it's also about what truly matters on both our personal and a relational level. Which my hope would be a lot of people, especially those that are, I can only really say much about Canadian politics because that's where I'm from. But those that are just diving in deeper into the communism, like I really hope you're starting to get a little bit more of a relational level of like, is this what you thought you wanted in your country? Right? Let's just dig in deeper. Anyways, side note. Now, how we imagine we're going to see the collective Tuesday and Wednesday. So, what we might see is group conversations happening around shared goals and future plans. And what is the next step? So, seeing that on the collective, what is our next step? Who do we share the same goals and plans with? Is it this group, this group? Are we starting to be able to merge groups? Like that would be amazing if we actually started to have people be able to come to a balance, right? Maybe I was on this side and I was on this side, but we're all starting to share information and we're kind of meeting in the middle, right? Coming to the middle where we can communicate, which I brought up last week, right? We struggle where we can't have a disagreement anymore. So that would be really what I would love to see on the collective. And that is the energies for it is, the conversations. What is it that we share and where is our future, especially for a lot of countries? Connected default to Beat Studio. I am going to delete that. Just got a note. Just distract me. What we also may see collectively Tuesday and Wednesday is a lot more focus on organizing ideas into action. So maybe taking the actions for whatever's come up that we've started to contemplate and learn about. We also possibly communities are discussing improvements or adjustments. I'd love to see that on a world stage, really. And momentum building in collaborative efforts. So things that people have worked together, there's going to be more momentum towards those. So if you've been working with somebody and the time is now ripe for it to start to go forward. Now, how you might imagine getting through or imagining your own life Tuesday, Wednesday, it's a great time to reorganize a deeper emotional meaning behind something that maybe you previously just viewed logically. So logically, but now you're kind of integrating it into that emotional meaning. What does that really mean? Logically, I might see this. So logically, okay, I get what these people aren't happy. I understand that, but now I'm more so really feeling it and digesting it at a deeper level. We also may feel on a personal level or imagine that we're deciding to open up about feelings of what we've been building. Like, you know what? I really love my Awaken Light app, but I'm not going to say it's easy. It drives me absolutely crazy. So I love it. And I simultaneously get insanely upset about it. So it's kind of like we're sharing the emotions of what we're building, right? This is great. And it drives me crazy and I'm crying, right? At the same time where literally I feel bipolar because 5 minutes ago when it was all working great, I was like, well, this is the best. Oh yeah. And then 5 minutes later, like, I have threatened AI that I'm going to find its server and shut it down because it's not listening to me. Yeah, we get those. So you may feel those. We're digesting that. Also, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're feeling motivated to create a more supportive space at home or within relationships. So just being there to help people and support them. And many will notice conversations leading to maybe some unexpected insights, especially emotional, right? Because there's a lot of stuff where we've been logically understanding it, but now we're emotionally digesting it. And we might have that conversation with somebody where just the way they say it does something. It triggers something. And we're like, we get it. And we're getting it at that deeper level. Now, how we might imagine making it through Tuesday, Wednesday, how to survive. We stay curious about the ideas and conversations that are unfolding around us. So curious. Maybe we're not going to change our complete identity, okay? Not yet. We're going to stay curious. Okay, we're learning more information. We're starting to see it maybe a little bit different. We're starting to digest it at a different level. But we're curious, like, is there going to be more information coming in, right? We're going to listen carefully to both words and emotions behind them. So that is part of it, is like, what is the words, but what are the emotions behind it, right? So not only that they're saying things, we're picking up that innate ability we all have of what they're really saying at a level and how we feel it. And so imagine how, like, being more perceptive to that. Take note of insights of what feels more meaningful or secure, like whatever reveals itself. Take notes, write it down, and allow the logic and intuition to guide your decision. So it's not just emotional and it's not just logical. We need to use both. So that is the most important thing, is that we're combining both of them, not just going, oh, logic, 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 but heartless, right? That is how things have been. I remember many times growing up that being told by certain people, oh, emotions are weakness. Well, emotions are super valid. But if we're only emotional and then we also don't use a little bit of logic, like, okay, I don't like this, so I'm just not going to do this. Yet logically, okay, maybe I don't like this, but I kind of need to find that balance. So that is how we really make it through Tuesday, Wednesday. Stay curious, especially with conversations and ideas that come up. Listen to the words and what is behind them, especially the emotions. Take insights of what you're starting to understand and reveal, or I'll try to get rid of the word understand, what you're starting to comprehend, and use logic and intuition to assist as you're making decisions. So as we go through Tuesday, Wednesday of this week, let's pick our card here. Look in a book. Look in a book. Do we even have books? Do you guys still have books? Oh, I know some hardcore people have lots of books. I have a huge amount of books. That is the hardest thing to downsize, is books. Not gonna lie. It's like I need a trailer to pull the books behind me. Look in a book. Whatever your question right now, you'll find the answers in a book. The words you will find will bring the insight you seek. So maybe we're going to get somebody that's talking about something that they found in a book. I know I'll see a lot of videos where people are bringing up really old books and things that have been told in those books, right? So we're starting to maybe look at that. Maybe it's also doing something as simple as just pulling a book and opening it. It could be whatever you resonate with and finding the message there, right? So things that might work. Now, I know a lot of people will do this with the Bible, and I find that interesting. Yet they're like tarot cards and oracle cards, devil's word, but the Bible's not. Like, okay, but you're still opening it and then pulling to a scripture, right? Like, that's the same idea. But nonetheless, I've got my Yoga Sutras. I could open it and be like, what's the sutra for the people that are here watching today? Oh, Samhiti, spiritual absorption, merging of subjects and object. So here, it's all about, Samhiti is actually part of the yoga practices to immerse yourself in spirit. So it's not actually a quote, it's a definition. So that's the definition I'm sharing with you today. A Samhiti, which is part of the yogic philosophy, spiritual absorption, merging of subject and object, which seems appropriate because it's very much also the emotions with the logic. So it's the subject and the object. Interesting. So that was just completely random, and that I just had that book there, but quite appropriate. So your guidance Tuesday, Wednesday, look in a book, okay? And that will help you find some information. Okay, we'll jump on to Thursday, Friday, but I'll take a moment. I'm not really sure about Scott_truth. Sure. He just likes to post. Thank you for posting. Welcome. 50 hertz. Okay. That is, I'm not really sure, but we'll go from there since everybody likes to post things. But thank you for posting and putting some comments in my chat. And as a note, wherever you're watching me from, I know I've been attempting and doing my best to get this in every platform. So the few people that can benefit from my message are going to be here to listen. Please do like, share, subscribe wherever you're at. So then when I come live, because I've been doing this now for the last almost a year, every Sunday I'm coming up on live at 11:11 a.m. Eastern, and we look at the week ahead. So next week we'll be looking into the week of April. And while I have that on my mind, I will put the link. I have not done it. I was so bad, so bad, so lazy. I have made the February. I don't even know what month we're going into. April PDF of the just the overview energy. That it's $5. That'll be in my fourth wall store, as well as on my app, Awakened Light app. So you can download it there if you want to get an idea of how April's going to roll out. Just continuing. Well, thank you. I'm glad you think I'm cute. So thank you for joining, Scott. Okay, let's continue Thursday and Friday. So Thursday, Friday, the 26th, 27th, we've got the Universal Days 3 to 4. So 3 highlights creativity, expression, and sharing of ideas. It brings a lighter tone where communication, social interaction, and creativity feels more natural. So if you're like me, you're like, this is so weird being around people. It's going to be more natural. Ooh, you'll just feel like it's good. The energy then shifts to Universal Day 4, which is more structured and practical. So organization, discipline, building stable foundations on ideas and inspirations that merge from earlier in this week. Then we get into the elements. We've got Cancer to Leo under the Western astrology. And then under the Vedic, we've got Gemini to Cancer. So really, the elements are air, water, fire. So both systems are moving in from thought into feeling towards confident expression. So by this time, we're starting to be able to confidently speak about whatever we're learning, whatever perception we're getting, because it's not only logic and it's not only emotion. We're coming to this point that we know it's a mixture of both, right? And Gemini brings curiosity in the conversations, encouraging an exploration of ideas. Cancer is emotional awareness, focusing, of course, on our security, home, meaningful connections, always like that. And then the moon in Leo brings more expressive, bold, supporting creativity and visibility. Desire to share what matters the most. And again, I have to make a comment because we are putting out the visibility engine. So I will have that link in the description, but it is also in the chat. If my editor, manager person can put that in the chat again, I am youtubefamous.com. You can sign up for our webinar to learn about the visibility engine. Because if you want to be seen, like at this point, you have to be online. You do. Like, unfortunately, if you want to be heard and stay relevant, even if it's only, finding those few people that resonate with you, they have to find you. How are they going to find you? Because those other ways aren't working anymore, right? We have to expand beyond just our location. Locations can work great, and they work for a lot of businesses. However, for a lot of us that are in these transitions of maybe we've lost our jobs, we're struggling, we have a message to sell, we have our own little businesses. We want to find all of the potential people that we resonate with. And the only way you're going to find them is being visible. So we've made this 8-week plan to help you get visible and have a strategy so you can be found by the people that will connect to your message, your product, whatever you're doing. So that is the I Am YouTube Famous, which is in one of the comments. And then let me see if I can highlight this comment here. Pinned. Let me put, no, I pinned the comment. I don't want to hide it. I don't know how last time I highlighted somebody's comment and it was one that was pretty rude and I tried to block them. I accidentally highlighted them. This one I want to highlight and I pinned, but I don't know how to add it because it doesn't seem to show me that. That's hilarious. It's a good thing I know how to use technology so well. It's not like I don't use it every day of my life. Anyways, on that, let's continue. We have made it through. We're on Wednesday, Thursday. So the Vedic, what we're looking at overall on the Vedic, the moon reflects in Gemini, moving towards Cancer. So Gemini is the learning, communication, gathering information. Again, the many perspectives, that same theme that was already coming up earlier in the week. Cancer, again, is growth, collective focus towards emotional sensitivity, family, and creating space. People want to feel safe and supported. Then on the Western astrology, again, the moon is still in Cancer, so we still have that emotion, so much emotion, and a need for connection, but they may feel drawn towards home family environments and feel more nurturing and secure. So, but then with the Western, we move into Leo on the 27th, which is like later in the week. That becomes more about expression and confidence. So we get a lot more of that later on in the week. Or sorry, the 27th, because we're on Thursday and Friday. Good thing I know. Good thing I know what I'm talking about. Confidence and creativity rise, encouraging people to share their ideas and step into the spotlight in some way. So we might see a lot more people that maybe we haven't heard from in a while, maybe we're not seeing, or that are just finally like, I need to make this video. I need to share my voice. Again, I am youtubefamous.com. Join our webinar so you can get a visibility plan, but it's highly recommended this week to start, taking steps into the spotlight. Start speaking your truth that is both emotional and logical. So you've got that mixture, right? Together overall, we've got movement towards thoughtful conversation, which would be nice. Thoughtful conversation, just yelling internet, right? About understanding that goes towards confident expression. Things that have been building are going to start to be more in a visible form, and people are going to feel more encouraged to share, lead, and and tell their personal perspectives. I feel like it's going to feel safer. I feel like that is really the energy, is we're going to feel safe. It's going to feel safer to speak what we're speaking, even with places like in Canada where they're pushing so hard for more censorship, more thought police, more restrictions. I think it's going to be the point that we're just feeling like we don't care. We don't care. Come and arrest every single person that has an opinion that doesn't match the government. I guess we'll all go to jail together and be in good, we'll all just hang out together. It'll be awesome. All of us with the wrong thoughts, all you fringe minority, we can just all go to jail together and just hang out. Just lots of time to meditate, chill, We don't have to worry about where our food comes from. Just saying, there's some perks. Just thought about it. I've thought about going to jail a lot, obviously. So the strongest energy as we come through Thursday, Friday, emotional awareness into confident expression. So feelings and insights that we gathered earlier, maybe Sunday, Monday here at the beginning of the week, start to help us take our steps forward so we can express ourselves or take visible action and something that is meaningful. Now, how we might imagine the collective. So what we might see on the collective and more on the whole as we go through Thursday and Friday is conversations turning towards progress and results. Are we really getting progress and results? Are the things that they're doing, are these equaling results we even like, right? And what are these results? Groups are focusing on practical follow-through. So not only doing the steps, but we're going to actually take the steps to follow through. So it's like, okay, I want to be heard, but are you taking the steps to be heard and visible? Again, join us for the visibility engine. Increase momentum in collaborative projects. So things that you're working with other people are going to work better. So especially if they're in alignment with this time and with truth and helping people, and they're fully in alignment and you're working with other people, the momentum's just, it's a snowball effect. We're going to feel that energy on the collective. So that's kind of exciting, especially if it's a good collaborative project versus, this whole other thing with the war and that's not a collaborative project I want to be part of. And I'm pretty sure nobody wants to be a part of that collaborative project, but say it. Then shared attention on what is working and moving forward. So that's what we're going to see and maybe imagine on the collective is just what is working, what we want to move forward with. Now, how we might imagine and see our own personal lives as we go through Thursday and Friday, the 26th and 27th, is we might feel inspired. So expressing something we've been building emotionally. Like I could talk about how much I love this and hate this app at the same time. I love it. It works so great. Then there's these weird parts and these weird glitches that make me insane. But we're inspired to share what we've been building, especially on the emotional end. We may decide to take a more confident role in conversations or projects. We also could be more motivated to share creative ideas with others. So, what are we working on? Sharing them. And I have talked about it. Be aware of who you are sharing, what you want to create and manifest. Because part of manifestation is the throat chakra and talking, speaking, writing out your idea. So be aware. Like if you're talking to people that are not supportive of you at all, or that they might be a little bit like, well, sure, you got crazy ideas or something. Maybe not having the conversations with them, right? Because you don't want to block your manifestation ability. Just as a side note, but we might imagine that we're feeling motivated to share those ideas with others. And many will notice growing desire to be seen, heard, or appreciated for their efforts. I'm going to say, I always want to feel appreciated, especially if you're a mom. You're always like, I want to feel appreciated and growing desire. So please appreciate us, okay? So make sure we're appreciating people around us. Now, how to make it through Thursday and Friday, so as we come into the weekend, is pay attention to the emotions that do surface and what they reveal. So this is, again, becoming more reflective, right? So if we're feeling that as we're learning new things, what did these energies bring up, how we are feeling emotionally, and acknowledging them. If tracking things down, writing them down, or even voice dictating them helps, just pay attention to them, acknowledge them. Do the best to avoid being, oh, that's bad that I should feel sad or mad or whatever feeling you have coming up. Your feelings are valid, and acknowledging them so you can learn to grow is very important. And that's highly aligned to how to make it through, is just being okay with what they reveal. What are these emotions revealing as you have them? Allow creativity to flow naturally without overthinking it. So if you're an artist, maybe you make music, maybe you draw, sing, paint, whatever you might do, let it flow and pull away the judgment. My daughter's super creative. She loves making things. She can totally get so hung up on things that are imperfections that nobody else would ever even know, right? So you got to remember how to make it through Thursday, Friday. Like, let it go. Don't overthink it. Don't think about, just let your creativity create what you need to create to assist, especially in the emotions. Because a lot of times with the emotions, it's going to reveal things that we might want to create. Maybe we want to create a video. Maybe we want to talk to somebody and create a group, right? Could be anything like that. How else we might make it through, and imagine making it through till Friday. Begin organizing ideas that feel meaningful and worth pursuing. So things that you do want to do. So if you do want to get more visible, like I said, now I'm going to be repeating myself because I can only promote myself and the things I'm working on. I'm YouTubeFamous.com. It's in the conversation, and I did pin the one with the link, so you can sign up for a webinar and learn all about that. And but that'll help you begin to organize what you want to do. That's just another way. If making video and being seen is something you want to do, right? And step forward with confidence when opportunities to share your voice appear. So when you have something appears that you can share your message, step in it confidently, right? Like step into your personal power and speak from an honest, truthful, grounded point. And that will really assist you as we make it into the weekend. So let's pull a card, and then we'll get through Saturday and Sunday and where we'll be when I come back next Sunday on the 29th to review where we're going into the month of April, not February or August or whatever I was going to say. Oh, thank you, Scott. Hug for you too. I know. I'm bipolar with my app. I love it, and it drives me crazy at the same time. But isn't that anything? When you're doing something that you love and it's so meaningful to you, the passion, it's gives you the biggest joy and also the biggest headaches and frustrations, especially if you're get your perfectionist streak going and you want to, I want this to be perfect. And then you find something imperfect. I have a list of things I have to fix on my app. Yeah. But that's a part of the creativity, right? Being creative is a love-hate relationship. But to make it through to Thursday, Friday, let's remove those judgments and just go with the flow. Go with the flow, let yourself create and move in that energy. And then the message, the extra little message from our fairies. I like these cards. Quite blunt and honest. Friendship. Ooh, because I talked about that manifestation, right? So we got the friendship. So again, we've pulled this one before, but fairies and humans alike need friends. Now is the time to seek out those who will support and encourage you on your journey to fulfill your dreams, right? Because we're going in this time. Our dreams are coming forward. We're being inspired to do this. So this is about finding those people that are part of your tribe. They may not be like best friends, they could be acquaintances, but it is those people that you're going to be working with. And as I stated, anything you're doing in collaboration is going to do even better than being by yourself. And that is the truth. So, you know what? Part of our journey is being with people. Even if you're somebody like me that's like, it's too people-y out there. We need people. We do. We all need people. People are how we exist, right? So finding those like-minded people that we can share what we're inspired to do, find those groups that resonate with us, but also what we learned earlier in the week is to not immediately reject things that don't fit into our little tiny box of perspective, because maybe we're also now determining our perspective is starting to change or grow or expand, right? So maybe our perspective was a little bit too narrow, right? And now we're starting to learn things and we're going, okay, well, now our perspective is growing. That maybe it's not just black and white, right and wrong, good and bad. Maybe there's more to this. So that's how we get through Thursday, Friday. So let's continue as we finish off here the week, as we meet back on Sunday, the 29th. It'll be 11:11 Eastern, which is 10:11 Central, 9:11 Mountain, and 8:11 Pacific time. Now, if you're overseas, you got to do your own numbers and to figure that out yourself. But we get to the numerology. We've got universal days 5 and 6. So 5 highlights change, movement, and exploration. So that'd be Saturday. It brings a desire for freedom, some new experiences, flexibility on how we approach situations, and some energetic shifts. So being flexible, right? Changing our perspective, having the ability to take in new information and not immediately get mad, fight it, or angry. Maybe we go, okay, why does this person's perspective this way? Right? Then we get into Universal Day 6 when we meet back on Sunday, and that's we become more focused on harmony, responsibility, relationships, and it encourages people to nurture connections and care for their environment and create greater balance in their lives. We're definitely out of balance, right? We're looking to kind of come back, and balance is that emotion and that logic that they meet together. Now, when we get to the elements in the Western astrology, we're going from Leo to Virgo signs, and in Vedic, it's Cancer to Leo. So with the elements, we've got water, fire, earth. So across the systems, it brings emotional awareness into confident expression and towards practical refinement. Cancer highlights emotional depth and connection. Leo brings courage, creativity, and a desire to express ourselves openly. Virgo begins to emerge, and attention shifts from improvement, organization, to inspiring something useful and constructive. So something that we want to actually bring that people can use, whether it's ourselves. Like me making this app was really kind of built for myself because I'm finding it super useful because AI drives me crazy. So I need something to be more reliable and more in depth than what I've seen, and merging all these ideas that are great, but into one place. Because for me, like as a side note about being useful, okay, great. Vedic astrology is great. Western astrology is great. Numerology is great. elements are great. They all have so much to teach us, but we have to go into so many different places to look at them. And I want to merge them into one cohesive place where you can get more information without having to go everywhere else to them. So that's really the underlying motivation, was out of my own, okay, I like this, I like this, I like this. This is too long for me to find out all of this. I want to just go one place and have all of those. And that's kind of that really is, between that and AI hallucinating, were my motivations to make this app, really. So, and there's a lot more. I want to get human design into it, but I got to get it working perfect. My love hate. But anyways, we are turning inspiration into something useful and constructive that ourselves and others can use. Now, if we look at the Vedic astrology end, the Vedic moon reflects Cancer moving into Leo, with the Leo influence. So Cancer, of course, is always that emotional sensitivity. We've had that all week, right? And with that family bond and our security. Leo is our grows stronger, collective atmosphere becomes more expressive and confidence, encouraging people to step forward, share their talents, and take pride in their individuality, right? Like, be okay with who you are, right? And be okay that, yeah, I'm not human, I'm not AI, I'm not perfect, I've got wrinkles. I have teeth that are just normal. They don't glow in the dark. They're not white. I sometimes wear glasses. I actually wore my glasses today because I fell asleep with my contacts in yesterday afternoon. I was exhausted, didn't mean to fall asleep. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And then I had and my one eye was bloodshot because I fell asleep with my contacts in. And you know what? I'm going to take pride in my individuality, that I'm just as flawed as every other human. So that's really, I feel like that. Like, taking what do we have as talents, what is our natural things, and being okay with it and sharing it with the world. So even if there's going to be haters, the haters are always going to hate. That means you're getting traction. That really does. But it is annoying. I've made videos about, haters making stupid ass comments. And not everyone's going to be supportive. You'll even see that probably in your own family. I'm sure every single person has somebody in a family or a close friend that is never supportive, right? That's the truth. You're always going to have somebody, whether it's somebody you physically know or don't know, that is a hater. But we have to step into knowing that they can't affect us. We are stronger than their hate. We've got talent. We've got things we can offer that even if they're going to hate on us, we know we have value. They can't take away our value. Now, in the Western collective, the Leo energy dominates the period. So that's really what's dominating on Saturday and Sunday through the Western astrology. So it's encouraging creativity, warmth, visible self-expression, people feeling more inclined to showcase their talents. Again, we're getting that talent in both of the astrologies. This is why that's why with the awakened light, again, my high-end pointer. So if you're in my landscape, it's over here, my awakened light. If you're in my vertical, it's right there. High-end tech. So showcasing those and leading with a role in our social situation. So it's time to showcase who you are, your talents, and take a leading role. And again, if you do want to have that visibility plan, like, you should be a leader, and maybe you're a chiropractor, maybe you're a doctor, maybe you do other spiritual work, and you want people to see you. It's getting a plan together so you can be more and more visible so the people can find you, right? So we're promoting, I've got it pinned, IamYouTubeFamous.com. We are promoting a 8-week program. It's called the Visibility Engine, to help you get started so you can be visible and seen. So your talents can help other people, so they can be heard, so you can be seen, so other people can find you. Because if you're not out, they're never going to find you. No matter how, and I get it. You might have something great and you're really good at it, and it should pay for itself, right? Like, oh, I'm just good, it should show. But if people can't find you, they'll never even know you existed, that you can even show them, right? So that is part of it. But when we get into the weekend, it's definitely there. And then as we go through, we're leading in social situations with lots of leadership energy. With the Western, the moon moves into Virgo later on the 29th, so later on Sunday, which starts to be more practical, more detail-oriented, shifting attention and improvements and refinements. So we've got these big ideas. like my app, this wonderful big idea. But now we're refining and improving and doing all these things. And in fairness, it's like me going, with little things I find with my beta test, with my app, and I'm always looking for beta testers. You'll see that information in my description if you want to try it out. I can't charge people. I need it to be refined. I need it up to a part that I feel good knowing it's a strong app. And that's where I'm going with it, right? Like I myself couldn't sell you something that has these weaknesses I found, like weird things where it doesn't necessarily collect the right information in one field. One field wasn't working right, or it's not doing some update properly. I want it, obviously perfection is probably never, ever really real. However, I need to make sure it's something that I'm happy with every time I use it. And if I'm not happy with it, I'm not going to sell it to people to pay me for something I'm not happy with. But that's a weird thing in our culture that has gotten normalized, that you pay to be a beta tester. You pay to see all the flaws and they charge you. I feel like it's a mocking. I give you all this money and it's like, well, we're improving it. I get, even if I give my app and I start selling it, there's always going to be improvements and things to fix. But I don't want you to be a beta tester. I want it to be like really good, like 95% good, not 100%, which may not even ever be real because I'll always have more things I want to add, right? Because there's always more you can do for sure. But it's like that weird thing about giving people things that work and then charging people for things that don't really necessarily work, right? So then when we go to the combined view of next weekend, Saturday, Sunday, the influences suggest movement from emotional awareness to bold expression, followed by practical application. So it comes into practicality. How does this actually work in our lives? And then what begins as a heartfelt inspiration evolves into confident action, eventually into planning how those ideas can be organized or improved. So it's really just continuing to build that into something that we can share that's going to be stronger and better for everybody. That's how I would see it. And the strongest energy overall for Saturday, Sunday is evolving, practical refinement, passion and confidence into inspired actions. And then the emerging Virgo influences are really turning everything into inspiration. So we're producing something that's more productive and meaningful, right? Bringing something of meaning to life. And what it is for you is going to be a little different, right? So whatever it is for you, it's going to look different. That's also why I built the app. So again, you can always reach out to be a beta tester and see how this stuff affects you directly. Now, how we might imagine making it through. Now, first, we're going to look at the collective. We imagine the collective Saturday and Sunday. There's conversations, slowing for reflection or reviews. On a whole, they're reflecting. What has happened? I always call it the Hormozi Strait because I've looked at Hormozi's business plans. So I'm just going to call it the Hormozi Strait. I always say it wrong. But, maybe they're reviewing and slow reflection of what is going on there. It just as a side note. Don't know, but that's, conversations around those type of things of slowing for reflection and review. Groups start to discuss what worked and what didn't, right? What worked with the Hormozi's business plan or the Hormozi Strait? What didn't, right? It's a shout out to Hormozi, okay? I like him. Increase focus on adjusting plans or priorities. So that's something we'll see on the collective. More focus, adjusting plans, adjusting where is our priorities. Our priorities, do we want to literally bring back and reduce the cost of being able to get fuel and heating, right? Is that going to be a priority? I would hope so, but we'll have to see how this works out on the collective. And then also on the collective, we might imagine shared attention on closing cycles and preparing for the next steps. What are the next things that we're going to go and build and go forward with? Now, how we might imagine our lives next weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Personally, we're feeling inspired. Again, sharing our talent, idea, our project, like we've been talking about. We're going to feel that next weekend. I'm going to say there might be a lot of stuff going on social media because if we're feeling inspired, people are going to be sharing what they're creating, sharing their ideas. That is how I would thing is going to manifest out. Some people may feel more confident speaking up or taking initiative, right? Being more in those leadership roles that we mentioned. So those are going to be a lot of people stepping up into those. We might recognize practical steps that are turning our inspirations into actions, right? So we're inspired. We want to create content. So we register for the I Am YouTube Famous. We go to that website and we register for the visibility webinar, because we want to turn our inspiration into action. That's why we do it, right? And again, it's pinned, so you can go and join us. And then many will enjoy expressing themselves while also refining their future plans. So again, we're refining, we're getting better. And that is also through practice and through speaking and through working through things is how we refine things too, right? So remembering we have to take those steps, and we're expressing ourselves and we're enjoying it, but we also have to continue to refine to get more accuracy and to turn it into something that is stable for the long run. It's like my app. Now, how we might make it through Saturday and Sunday till we meet again next Sunday, again, 11:11 Eastern, 10:11 Central, 9:11 Mountain, and 8:11 Pacific, is we might imagine ourselves allowing creativity, confidence to guide our actions, expressing what feels authentic and meaningful to you, begin organizing ideas that have potential for a long-term growth, right? Because we want those things to continue in the long run, and balancing emotional inspirations with practical planning. So a lot of it is going to be planning how we want to go forward, being excited about it, but organizing and getting planned. And it's ironic that we're offering this class because the visibility engine will probably be relevant to a lot of people and what they want to do, because no matter what you want to create, what you want to sell, what you want to do, people need to see your product, person, what you're offering. Now, you either have more time or money. And I'm going to say a majority of people don't have a whole lot more money at this moment. Maybe you're the need. Maybe there's a few of you there that are like, oh, don't even. I've got lots of money. I'm just rolling in the dough right now. Great. I'm happy for you. But I'm going to say the majority are right now. We have more time than money, or maybe still not a lot more time, but there's not a lot of money, right? So if you want to pay for a lot of advertisements, and again, I think there's a lot of distrust in advertisements now, because a lot of the advertisements aren't even real people in the advertisements, are all AI, right? Or they're promising things. Like I saw an advertisement for getting YouTube content, and they're going to get you 1 million subs. Okay, but are these subscribers that are going to actually be watching, and are you going to get your watch hours and actually be able to make money from it, right? So what are you offering something realistic, or are you offering something that, okay, maybe you'll get those 1 million subs, but you're not getting the watch hours? Something's not going to make sense, right? And then your YouTube is going to be like literally targeted as being scammy. So if you want to build it authentically, you want to find the people that are going to find you, and you don't want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on advertising, you need to get visible. And then, yeah, once you're visible, ads, great, fantastic. Not saying ads and commercials aren't good things, but visibility is key, because a lot of that stuff can also be then converted into your advertisements of whatever you're promoting, whether it's yourself, a product, whatever, right? So that's just my little summary. So if you are interested, do check it out so you can join our webinar. And I did pin the comment, and I'll make sure that I'll go back and put this in the description for all of my videos as well, wherever you're watching me. So as we finish that week, let's pull a card on the message. What message do the guides have for us overall for the week of March 22nd today until next Sunday, the 29th? What guidance do our fairies have? Let's see. Wish wisely. Wow, there you go. Wish wisely. I like it. Use your wishes wisely to manifest your heart's desire. Take practical steps towards making your dreams come true. I couldn't even have pulled this out and made it up. I'm just saying, it's the guides are reminding you that legitimately what I've talked about this week is exactly it. Get your logic and your emotions into coherence. go forward with practical actions to help manifest what you care about, whether it's helping people and healing them. Maybe you're in vitamins, or maybe you're in healthcare, like in a way that you actually more in a naturopathic in helping people detox. Maybe you're in sound healing. Maybe you're in just humor. Maybe you heal people through being funny, right? It can be anything you're manifesting, right? And it's time to start taking those practical steps, like start making the plan so we build something that's structurally lasting, because we've been on a very long time where a lot of the foundation we're seeing is crumbling under. So we have a lot of structures like the government, and the foundations are cracking, and it's all like especially in Canada. That's how I feel. So we're just pull out that foundation, because you can't fix anything on a broken foundation. You can go spend $1 million building the most beautiful mansion, but if it's on broken foundations, it's literally crap. So make sure you're visible. So go and join our webinar. We're going to go live on this 1st and 2nd. We've got 2 different times we're going to go live. So you can join us either of those to learn about our visibility engine. And this is the week also to start planning and what do you really want to do? What do you want to create? And be open to listening to other people, because that is also going to be part of how we evolve, because it's a bigger perspective. It is recognizing and being open to hearing the things around us, because that is going to assist us, whether it helps you with your own personal opinion or helps you gain a bigger perspective, right? So one last thing I wanted to mention for the week, so I thought I would just go one quick overview here. This week isn't about rushing your decisions. It's asking you to acknowledge and recognize what has already become clear. That's it. So again, this week isn't about asking you to rush your decisions. It's asking you to recognize what has already become clear. And if I can help you, maybe you want to be my beta tester, you can go and check out. Now, if you do sign up and just do the free, you don't get really very much in it, but you can go. The link is in my description. You can apply to be a beta tester and try it out, or come and join us with the visibility engine. Get signed up for our webinar. We're going to teach you how to become more visible so you can recognize what's already becoming clear and share your business truth, whatever it is. So on that, I want to thank everybody for following me. And I'll take a moment here. Ethan Woody, 2076. Thank you for following me. Did you know fire and water wake aura, and all 3 make earth? That's awesome. That is true. That is true. And as I said, probably at the beginning, we are in this very interesting week where it is really earth, air, water, fire, earth. We're completing a manifestation cycle this entire week. So the elemental flow across the week. So that's a very interesting thing. So it's a ground, think, feel, express, and what you're doing. It feels scammy. It feels like a really scammy MLM. Don't express what you're feeling and thinking, and then improve it. That is the summary. That is the perfect summary. It's following your heart, full of faith. Exactly. So thank you again, and I will see everybody back here next week, same time, 11:11 Eastern, 10:11 Central, 9:11 Mountain, 8:11 Pacific, and then of course this will be up and you can rewatch it anytime you want during the week on whichever of the platforms you found me on. Thank you again, and I will see you all next week. Have a wonderful week, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, but be open to hearing what other people say before rushing to any emotion or conclusion. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next